Oh, hello, 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 hello. How is everyone tonight? Do. I think this brush is on its way out. It's definitely getting there. Thought I'd just do a little live stream as I work on the Northmen. I'm going to be doing the first battle report for on Wednesday. Now obviously everything's not going to be painted for that. The whole point of them is to also show the army progressing as you follow along with the narrative story. Not fully convinced that I'm shaking this paint well either. So yeah, should be cool. I'll get the chart up so I can see the charts. How is everyone tonight? Put that there so I can see it. I really need a second monitor so I can, when I live stream, I can actually see the actual chart. I'm not fully convinced I actually shaking this paint properly either. I found some army paint fanatics and I've been using a few of these quite a lot of late. Quite like them, but the I think they definitely needed a really good mix. That's not too bad, to be fair. What's everyone up to? What hobby stuff is everyone doing? I'm going to start live streaming on a Tuesday night. It's going to be more of a talky head stream. So it's just going to be sitting there waffling away. But we're going to be sort of doing like a hobby roundup. I'm going to beg loads for gifted memberships and super chats so I can feel like a real streamer. That's actually not dry. So essentially with these I want to do sort of black. I'm thinking maybe a nice burgundy. The reason why is we'll get my trusty curl wheel out and come up with a colour scheme. So we've got to go for a green, yeah? Alright, so we're going for a green. So we're going to go for it's kind of like an earthy green, so a yellowy green, I would say. And that's your main colour. It also helps if you're able to spin this. Right, so you got your main colour. So you've got like a purpley colour is a really nice complementary colour. So I'm thinking like maybe like a Barrack Knob burgundy. It's kind of sort of in between the two would be quite a nice offshoot for the secondary elements of the fabric. So I think that might work quite nicely. We can sort of bring that up a little bit in regards to some reds and stuff. So keeping this here sort of like a dark black area, and then having like these here for the Baraknar burgundy, these parts here for the Baraknar. The boots are going to be like sort of like a dark leather. We'll do some like cool fur effect on top of that. The fur will pretty much be like the fur that I've done on this guy. So it'll be sort of like that there. So yeah, pretty cool. I really like that model. And obviously, if no one has seen Canute, this is the main protagonist of the story of what I'm going to be doing with the army. So this is Canute in his chieftain form, and then once we gain enough glory, we'll eventually turn Canute into this chaos champion form. You'll get his chaos armor and don it, but that's for later down the line. But right now, Canute is pretty much loving life in his crazy barbarian look. I've also got an extra lamp, which is kind of cool. So we've actually now got full light, and it looks a lot better. So yeah, so that's what the idea is. That's going to be. So we're just going to base coat these guys. Is anyone else doing any hobby? So, ooh, that's interesting. That's a separate piece of cloth, so we can do that Baraknar burgundy, and then have the green on the sides. I had a fun day at a 2-day event today. 2,500 points. It was fun. Fun. Some great games. I think my favourite game was against my good friend Michael in the last round. It ended a draw, like a serious draw. It was really quite a good game. The fact that there was like 48 points between the pair of us at the very end of the game. It was really good. My Shug held their own. So yeah, they're going to have that. Do that there. So I need to build up the layers of this green, and then once I've done that, they'll get washed with the brown and stuff. So you've got the loincloth here and these parts here, so they're going to be Baraknar burgundy, and these parts will be green. But I've definitely worked out that like magic armies with lots of magic or reliant on magic is probably not a good army for me, because I don't know what it is, but I just can't cast spells. Not when I need them. Not when I need them. Although I did get Doppelganger off when I really needed it, which was quite cool. Yeah, I think this weekend was the first weekend where I didn't want to play Grand Cathay anymore. I wanted to play something really different. How much freehand shall I put on this banner? I need to live stream more. I don't know if I should go back to Twitch to live stream. I'll just stick to doing it on YouTube. Okay, let those dry. Do some socials. I do like how YouTube gives me adverts. On me. Do. Nope. There you go. Sweet. Welcome in anybody that does watch. Welcome in. Welcome in. Just doing some socials. Okay. Sweet. Awesome. Right, let's do all the socially side of things. Let's have a little look at this. This green's okay. Definitely needs a few layers to get it nice and opaque. I'm going to wash it with a brown, and then I'm going to build it back up again and then start highlighting it. So the idea was, because the one thing I like about the army painting system, the army painter paints over other paints. Where is that other one gone? Where did I put that? Like, seriously? Oh, there it is. Right, let's see, had a third one there. Right, so the idea is you get this really cool triad system on all of their paints. Like, even the ones you get in the starter set have a simple, this triad system, which is kind of cool. I quite like it. So I picked up this one, Army Green, thinking it's going to be really dark, and then I picked up Camouflage Green being the next one up, and then I got Olive Drab being the really brighter. But when you put them together, there is very little difference in the colours completely. So I'm like, oh, okay. And the reason why is because I'd done this originally for the Cathay when it come to the oranges. I got like, you know, the molten lava one, the really dark one, and then I got like a mid-tone, and then I got quite a highlight the next couple of ones up. And I thought that would be really cool for, you know, I'll use that. Although I've got the metallics for my Custodes guard as well. So, you know, Tannish bright and that. So I'm kind of slowly but surely getting into the army painter paints. But I was thinking, this would be great. And then I've put it onto the model and it's not as dark as I initially thought it was going to be. It's quite bright, to be fair. So, yeah. It's not dark, but I can definitely bring it down with some washes, which I was going to do anyway because it's cloth. I might mix in some brown into the army whatever colour it's called, army green, which is apparently this one, and then from there, bring it down a bit and then shade it and then bring it back up with the others. The good thing is with the army painter paints is the triad system is definitely good. I'm quite impressed with it. For the capes, I'm going to use something like Skaven Blight Dinge or Skaven Blight Fur, or if I do have Skaven Blight Dinge, I'll use that, then Fur, and then Dawnstone. Use a bit of brown, a bit of dirty wash to sort of darken it down a little bit. And like I said, the fur will be quite bright anyway, so should look quite half decent by the time they're done. And then metallics will be metallics, silver, and then from the silver we'll wash them with my dirty armor wash, which I've made myself. Dirty armor wash, which is a great wash. I made this myself. It's my dirty armor wash. It's absolutely brilliant. It's basically rattling grime and some Lamian's medium and contrast medium are basically 3 tubs, 3 bottles, basically 3 of these all thrown into this bottle, and then give a really good shake and you get a really good dirty armor wash for metallics. It's absolutely brilliant, and I love rattling grime for that. Now if you don't want to use rattling grime, you could use, there's a sewer one. It's like a little bit dirtier than rattling grime, and it's really good for like sort of like metallics, exhausts, stuff like that. So if you really want to go down that route, you can. This is very grainy. Still a decent point on this brush though. It's not completely gone. I wonder if I should have got the one right down from this one, the actual base coat one, rather than this one. This is not as dark as I was hoping it was going to be. But yeah, it's a good colour. I mean, if you were doing things like Raptor Space Marines or something like that sort of olive drab, it's quite a good colour to use. But yeah, I would definitely give it a really, really good shake. Right, so I'll let that dry. So, I am going to go for a brown. I think, well, like a reddy brown, so maybe like a Rhinox hide. Yeah, we'll go for a wash of Rhinox hide. Rhinox hide-ish. So when I say I'm washing with Rhinox hide, I'm literally just getting Rhinox hide and just dumping some water into it. Do-do. So it's going to be Armageddon next week, is it? So it's going to be all the Armageddon stuff for 40k next week. Cool. Okay. Reckon you're dry now. Right. So when you do these washes, what you want to do is concentrate on the deepest recesses. You can build this up as much as you want. It's quite thin. You kind of want it to be thin. Tidy that up afterwards. You kind of just want to get the sort of the brown in the deepest recesses. Let that dry. That's still a bit wet in there. If you don't want to use the brown straight in, then you could use contrast paints if you want. I quite using acrylic paints for this because it kind of does what I need it to do. But if it's wet, just slap it in. Don't worry too much about it. We're going to be going over this to dry it out. Once it's dry, if you don't like using water to thin your paint, which some people don't, because water can split it, just use medium. Just use medium. Go. Let that dry. You can put texture and all sorts into it as well. I am going to freehand the banners. There you go. Happy days. It's drying nicely. The good thing with acrylic paints, it seems to dry a lot quicker than what normal paint does. You got this. So that's pretty much how I do this guy. I've been painting some Lumineth Realm Lords though. I've been having fun painting some of these, which is pretty cool. Oh. Right, is that dry yet? Okay. So let's get the mid-tone, and then that's the highlight. Is that the highlight, or is that the mid-tone? Nope. That's the mid-tone. Camouflage green. Camouflage green is the mid-tone. This doesn't sound like it's got a ball in it. Oh wow, that is a lot brighter. I'm going to use a new brush though. Okay. Excellent. Okay. So let's get that. Let's get a little bit of water, thin it down a little bit. So kind of want to layer this up, but keep it quite thin. Okay. too much paint. Just blending that out. I need to realise that this army doesn't have to be amazing. There's a book that's that Games Workshop released. I think it was the Path of something. I think it was something Path. It was about a Norse marauder that had basically started down the path to become a chaos lord, and he was like, I think he was blessed by Nurgle. I think that was the whole thing. But that book always kind of filled my imagination. It was so cool. So cool. I think it was Nurgle. I think he gets captured by like a bunch of corn worshippers. and they're like get him to fight some corn spawn. I'm pretty sure it's Nurgle that he ends up being a part of. But it's a really cool book, but unfortunately it's not on Audible. And on Amazon it's like, you know, a couple of £100 for a copy of it. Now, technically, I should be able to put the highlights on this cloth with this colour, and it should work quite nicely as a triad to bring up the highlights quite well. Oh, it is. Oh, it's yeah, it's starting to pop. That's good. It means I'm not going to have to. I want to do the least amount of mixing and blending on the army as I can, because I'm probably going to have quite a lot of marauders to paint, so I don't really want to be messing around with a load of mixes and all that kind of stuff. I want it to be quite quick, and I can get away with it being quite dirty because I can dirty up the cloth already. Just for a bit of texture. let's try the extreme highlight out, which is going to be, so it's Army Painter, Camouflage, and then Olive Drab. Oh wow, that is a lot brighter. Okay, this could actually work. This could actually work. Tell you what though, it'd be amazing if GW do announce these rumoured new Chaos Warriors and the supposed Mammoth. Oh, it's not looking too bad actually. I mean, you could probably really push that highlight out a little bit more and it would look really good, but I reckon probably just get away with that, to be fair. I mean, you could, if you really wanted to, get some ice yellow and then whap some ice yellow into that olive drab. Really sort of push the luminosity of the paint up and then go from there, because that's pretty, the highlights on that are pretty good. It's quite a nice green actually. Do you know what? I'm quite happy with that. That's actually quite nice. I mean, what I could really do, if I really wanted to, is make a brown glaze, which I've just done now, and then hey Mark, how was you, dude? Yeah, they're it was good. I was at an old world event this weekend. Came fifth, had fun. It's all good. Yeah, I reckon that works quite well. I reckon that works quite well. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the other 3, 5, 4 guys. So we know what we're doing now with the cloth. I'm just going to bring the cloth up a little bit, get those base coats back in, and then go from there. One of the most prominent colours on this is going to be green, which is kind of interesting because I don't normally paint armies with green in them. Cheers. Yeah, I'm playing around with the army paints. They're interesting. They're never going to sponsor my channel, so I can basically buy them, and then if they're shit, I can say they're shit as to my heart's content, because, you know, I've got no responsibility or any beholden to them. So I've bought a few. The ones that I've got so far I quite like. So yeah, it's all good. Right, that's pretty dark in there, so let's just get a little bit of a highlight there. Right, so he's looking good. Okay. So basically, these are not going to take that long to do. And this top of this highlight along here, that's kind of an important one. And then there is actually a line right there. I don't know if you can see it in the light on the camera, but there is a very faint fold. Very, very faint fold right across that line. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a bit of an edge highlight right along here. Just emphasize that line, and then I think this weekend definitely shown that I should be playing an army that's more smash focused. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy my Cathay, I really do, but I think I would probably do a lot better if I've got an army that I don't really need to think too much of. I can just fuck it in your face and then smash you. Cathay isn't really like that. I haven't dabbled with the greens and blues yet. I like Wolf of Dwarfs. I had about 5 or 6 of the browns though. Yeah, it's like, don't get me wrong, I enjoy playing the Cathay, like I do, but like I'm trying to cast spells and I don't do very well at that. So it's like, okay, whatever. Whereas like, you know, you give me a 600 point Chaos Dragon and I know exactly where I need to put it. I'm gonna put that Chaos Dragon where I need to put it, and then I'm gonna roll face. It's gonna be great times. But yeah, it's and I love Shugs, but Shugs are just not Chaos Dragons. So this narrative army will probably turn into my main army eventually, as I slowly work on it. can't really see in there, so I'm not really worried about that. What I'm just going to do, I'm just going to get it down a little bit more. Hi mate, time to put that plastic tat down and paint some metal for me, please. Huh? Say that again? Hi mate, time to put that plastic tat down and paint some metals for me. Metals? Am I painting metals, am I don't have a P.O. box. I do have a very sexy Chaos Warrior, though, that's going to work alongside these guys. See, that's going to be quite cool as well. He is going to stand out something really well with that green. Oh, that's going to be class. That's going to be really good. True enough, good to have options where you can look at the pressure scale, and it's all focused in there. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Oh, that's going to be really cool. See, these guys are really going to pop when I get that Baraknar Burgundy on, which is what I'm going to do in the next couple of minutes. Sir Victor, what metals are you talking about? Are you sure it's me that you're talking about? So the one thing that as well that I've noticed with these army painter paints, they blend really easily. Maybe I should be nicer to army painter, and maybe they'll send me all of their paints, or they probably won't, and then that means I don't have to be nice to them. But they are blending really quite well. That Chaos Warrior is my Chaos Lord. He's the AOS commemorative miniature that they did, is it last year? My local store has a couple of them. I really wanted him because I was like, I had the idea in my head for the Chaos narrative army. And I was like, right, this is what I want to do. But I want a Chaos Warrior on foot, Chaos Lord on foot that really sort of fits the part of what I want. And then I seen that they released this guy, and I was like, right, I want this model. This model is absolutely amazing. I want it. I love painting cloaks. There's fur, there's edge highlighting on everything that I like about painting miniatures. This model has. And then I got him. And then I was like, cool. And then I realised that he actually ranks up really well with the new Marauders. So I actually do remember when miniatures were metal. Yeah, and I am ancient. So the narrative is going to start with this. So this is my main character of the narrative army. It'll start with this, then eventually he'll work into this, then he'll get bigger or on a mount, probably on a mount, and then he'll eventually be on a dragon. So we'll be able to see the scale and the chart of how he progresses through the story. It's going to be really cool. Really looking forward to it. Think Vikings, but on Warhammer. And that there is my Ragnar. There's an entire video on the channel entirely talking about it. I'm gonna finish this guy, and then I want to try the Baraknar Burgundy out on the champion to see if that works. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the old metal miniatures. It's just the problem with the old metal miniatures compared to today is that GW make incredible plastic miniatures. They really do. Probably some of the best plastics out on the market right now. By far. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some kits that are absolutely abysmal. The Cathay Sentinel is one of them. But they do make some amazing plastic kits. Can't believe someone just said I sound ancient. I'm only 47. It's not that old. I'm not 50 yet. Do I paint other people's models? I do and I don't. It really depends on how I'm feeling. I don't really like doing commissions. Because a lot of the time you're constrained by a time frame. You kind of have to do it the way they want it done, and I kind of like. I think I'm at the stage with my painting that I just like doing my own thing. And it's fun. But, if it's something that I want to paint, so if someone said to me, I really want this miniature done, and I've never painted it before, then I'd be tempted to do it, but it would really depend on what it was. Right, we'll put a little bit of an highlight just in here, and just there, and then just down here. Okay, I reckon I can do the Barragnar Burgundy now and see exactly how good it's going to be. Cassie, whatever you're doing under that desk, stop. Because you're making weird ass noises. Okay. Some Barragnar Burgundy. Yeah, this is entirely my stuff, my own personal project. Yeah. Okay, let's see if this works. So technically, with this sort of reddy purple, this should really make that green pop. Cassie, stop doing what you're doing. Oi! Do you mind? The dog is literally laid in the doorway, deciding that she's going to have a bath on her paws. Just her paws, nothing else. She is making the most sloppery noises ever. But thankfully, she is on the mend after being a little bit ill. Oh, that's looking good. It's looking good. Spicy. Okay. Let's let that dry. We'll pop out a little bit more. And then what we'll do, just for the lols, we'll wash it with like a blue colour. I'm going to get pure black. Do I have Skaven Blight Dinge? Or am I going to have to pick that up this week? Skaven Blight Dinge. I have loads of Chaos Black. Oh, maybe I do. Nope, don't have Skaven Blight. I swear I had Skaven Blight Dinge. I do not have Skaven Blight Dinge. I'm going to have to pick that up this week. Probably tomorrow. I can't pick it up tomorrow, the shop's not open. Probably going to have to pick it up during the week. To grab a Skaven Blight Dinge. Because that would be a really good... Oh, maybe I do. No, not Mechanicus Stone the Grey. No. Yeah, so... Because if I get Skaven Blight Dinge, and then I get something like that fur colour, Storm Vermin Fur, and then Dawnstone, a little bit of a brown wash into it. Northdown Gaming Centre not open. I don't know. Are they? I know Replay. I'm pretty sure Replay is closed on a Monday. Or they might not be. I don't know. See, I'm not normally around on a Monday because I'm normally asleep because I'm normally in work at this time. Congratulations, Pete, on your win today. Well done. Well played. Well done on the Army Painting Award. Okay. So, what I'm just going to do is just going to get some black. Now, if you want a black, the best black ever to get is that. AK Interactive 3rd Gen Black. This is the best black you could possibly get for painting miniatures. It is insanely good. Ever since I started using it, I've not been able to go back to doing any other black. It covers over everything that it needs to. It is absolutely gorgeous and it's brilliant. Right. Okay. So that's there. That's done. Looking pretty good. So I'm going to wash that with a nice purple or a blue. I think they are open, yeah. I was there last Monday. What, Replay's open? Amazing. Right. A little bit of Night Lord's Blue. It's a nice blue. Nice contrasting colours. Again, it's all about the colour wheel. So we've got our primary colour, which is that yellowy green. We've got our secondary colour, which is our purple colour, our Barracknal Burgundy. And then we've got some blues for the shadows, which will also work because they're tertiary colours. They're in our triad. So these are our triads. And then the reddy browns will work really well because they're a part of the triad as well, you see. So yeah, all good. Look at that. You're learning a bit of colour theory today. That's how colour theory works. So, again the blue, mixing some of this in and then just washing over those purple areas. Surprisingly, there is not that much detail on these guys. I thought the detail would be quite a lot more, but they're not, which is kind of cool. I mean, once I get down around to doing the fur and the cloaks, the vast majority of these models are done. And then all I'm doing, because I don't need to go too hard on the highlights on the black, is getting some Corvus black. Just picking out the highlights. And obviously, when you drop blue paint right on where your edge highlight is, just tidy that up. It's pretty cool. It's got quite a nice colour scheme. Obviously, you can add some really bright parts into it with the fur. I'll do like a nice leather. My favourite leather colour to use, brown, to do yellow, is Thondia brown. One, because it sounds great when you say it, Thondia, and it's a really nice brown. So it's like a really nice red brown. So it's really good. You could add a little bit of this green highlight to the Corvus black, just to brighten up a little bit. You keep that sort of green tone throughout the entire army. You sort of end up with like a greeny grey. Okay. It's looking good. One thing about this army that's going to be amazing is all of the ginger beards I can paint. Haha. Lots of gnarly ginger beards. Okay. Highlighting the Baraknar Burgundy. Good question. Then I think we should go for a little bit of... Where is it? Do I have it? Do I have a Warp Stone? A Warp Fiend Grey. I do have a Warp Fiend Grey. It's a good colour. You could put reds into it if you wanted. For the Baraknar Burgundy, throw in reds in. Build it up with the reds. Keeping the keeping the sort of blues in the shadows, but I'm going to go for a little bit of water-free grey because I want the highlights to be quite desaturated. I mean, again, you can be as rough and untidy as you want with this. And then for the final highlight, just mix a little bit more so it's really desaturated. And then will this army win me army awards, painting awards? Probably not. But it's still going to be pretty good to do, and I'm going to have a lot of fun doing it. Okay. That's actually looking pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot. Right. What I'm going to do is, while we continue doing that, I'm going to work out where there it is, and then we're going to do some lead belcher or iron hands. It's quite like iron hand steel. It's quite dark, so as a metallic goes, it's pretty good, and it's one of GW's new ones, so it's quite smooth. So we'll wash it, and then what I'm going to do is get some really thinned down scrag brown, and then I'm going to lightly, like sort of almost like a glaze, onto all of the metallics, and then that'll make the chainmail sort of look rusty. Blackline that. Blacklining is pretty important because it puts in those natural shadows. Awesome. Right, I'm going to do that like a brass colour. That needs to dry. Tell you what, this guy's almost finished. They're not going to take long to pump out, you know. Not long at all. There's a detail on them, but it's mostly fur. And I think the Marauder Horsemen are the same as well. So they're not going to take long to do. To be fair. See what they look like. Yeah, I'll do the wash first. Yeah, they're looking pretty good. Right, let's get the rest of this sword done. Then I'm going to get these washed. And I'm going to give myself a drink while the metallics are drying. needs to dry before I can get a wash on. But yeah, they're looking pretty good. Right, so I'm going to go and quickly go and grab a drink, and then I will be right back. That's better. Let me go and get a drink. Cool. Okay. Okay, so the fur. We're gonna go for, yeah, we'll go for quite a nice creamy fur. Yeah, we'll go for that, and then we'll build it up with some colours. Oh, pardon me. Like I said, I don't have Skaven Blight Dinge or Dirge. I could probably make it mixing some Corvus Black and Storm Vermin fur together. Will probably give me the same colour, but we don't. So, in fact, that brush is far too small for that. Let's break out the big guns. What's really good about this colour scheme and the way I'm going to do it is when it comes to doing the other guys, batch painting this will be really, really easy to do, because once I've base coated one fur area, I can then just, while this is drying, just base coat the next one and the next one. So by the time I've done 5 of them, it'll be, all of the others will all be dry and sorted, and then I can just start building up the colours. So it means it's not dry at the back. So if I was batch painting this, this would be a lot quicker, or would be dry by the time I got to this part again on this miniature, because I've already done it about 3 or 4 times with a different dude. If you get some of the wash that's still wet, don't worry about it. Just slap the paint in there. It'll dry, it'll darken down, but it's in an area of shade, so it won't make any difference whatsoever. I think starting my Space Wolves, I've really come to enjoy painting fur, because you can have a lot of fun with it. So let that dry a couple of minutes. I mean, I could sort of do these parts as well. When you actually start seeing the colours building up, you really start seeing it pop. I think North Down had the Chaos Sorcerer model. Right. Do coat 2 coats of the Shabdi because you want it to be nice and opaque. Don't worry, there's a painting tutorial for these guys coming where I'll probably explain a lot more on how I'm doing it rather than just staying silent while I paint. So you lovely people can watch. Right, so let that dry. Now, secret to fur is to kind of soft blend it. So you can kind of get the colour in and everything else, and then kind of just blend it out. Right, so you can literally wet blend it now. So you can get the say like a Mornfang brown or a dryad bark or even a Rhinox hide or something like that. A real nice rich brown. Or you can even go for a grey if you really wanted to. So you can sort of like have that beigey bony colour going up into sort of like a light grey, and then a darker grey, and then like a sort of off black at the top. You could do that, but I think the brown would work really well, is because the orangey brown works well with the green, it works with the Barracknar burgundy, and it would sort of really be sort of that third colour on the colour wheel, which would be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a Mornfang brown, and then I'm going to sort of build that up on the top part here, on the top, and I'm going to bring it down and bring it down, and then all I'm going to do then is get like some thin Mornfang brown and wash all of this area, and then it's a matter of just picking out the highlights, going in for a darker colour at the top, and then a sort of like maybe like a little blackish colour at the top to really sort of darken that down. You can bring it around the top of the shoulders. You can, like I said, you can wet blend that in. If you want to wet blend it in, you kind of get that sort of effect, and then you can sort of just wash it and then give it like a dry brush and pick out all the highlights, and it really sort of makes it stand out and pop, which really works. Right. But if you don't want to use browns, you can get really crazy, because technically these guys are coming down from Chaos, from the Chaos Waste in the north. So if you want to use some real outlandish colours, you can, because, you know, the creatures up there are probably pretty mental in their colour schemes and stuff, with Chaos messing about with them. So yeah, you can pretty much do what you want, really. Whatever you think is going to look good, go for it. Right now I'm just sketching my the brown in. I'm going to go back over with more of it to real darken it up, but it's because of the shabby bone is still wet, it's kind of just blending in, and you kind of create that sort of off tone. Can't get the brush in, switch out the brush to another brush. Oh man, where's my tissue? Don't have one. Okay, let that dry. So while that's drying, I'm going to start base coating the beard. Nope, there we go. Actually, I've got ashen grey. Yeah, a bit of ashen grey. Probably work. I swear I had some Skaven by Dinge somewhere. Okay, let that dry properly. Right, let those dry a bit. And then once they're dry, I can actually get the next colours in. We're dry yet. We are slowly getting there. Okay, Troll Slayer orange. Let's go. Let's get this orange gun. We're going for bright ginger. It's going to take a while till that to dry, and then I can get the next layer on. If I was painting and without live streaming, then I would pull out the hairdryer and hair dry, which would speed things up somewhat. There's a mighty ginger beard. Oh, bloody hell. I've been nearly streaming for 2 hours. It's mental. But yeah, quite liking that. Alright, let's go. I'm getting comments on the YouTube videos, but not on the stream. Guys, we're going to have to start turning into like Valrak and start mentioning memberships and patrons and gifted subs and all that shit every 5 minutes. Okay, so we're going to get a little bit glowing inferno. I think I'm the only person watching myself right now. Sounded quite bad. Surely not. I think I am, you know. Right, let's get some of this glowing inferno and then start bringing up the highlights on this beard. This mighty ginger beard. And I am going to use a yellow tip. Get some Ginger beard. Okay, so pretty cool. And for the wash, just wash it all over the chainmail. Now, question is, am I able to get hold of a Dark Elf dragon? Because that would be a pretty cool dragon to get for a Chaos Warrior conversion. So I just add a little bit of the shabby bone to the real pale green, and then just want to do a bit of a extreme highlight. really think it adds much to it, so I don't think I really need to worry. Right, 2 hours. I think I've been streaming enough. So I'm going to call the stream there, guys. Thank you very much for everyone who sort of helped take part. Chatted for a bit. Cheers, and I will catch you all in the next one, because there will be another one very soon. See you later, people.